as presentable looking as possible. Snatched, as they call it, fleek, whatever.
Nuni, and I'm here with my brow tutorial video that I'm gonna give y'all. So if y'all want to see how I do my brows, then keep on watching. Oh, another thing, I want y'all to go ahead and take a minute to subscribe to my channel. You can leave a comment if you like. Let me know how I'm doing, and also like it at the end if you like what you're seeing. And
I gotta get used to talking to this camera because I'm a little nervous.
normally I'll just do my videos, you know, showing y'all what I do, but I'm actually gonna be talking to y'all, so make sure you comment and let me know how I'm doing. All right, now the first thing I do is make sure that my eyebrows are basically, you know, nice and cleaned up. I do that by using a pair of tweezers, as you can see. Just some regular tweezers, but make sure they're basically sturdy enough for you to be able to grip those brow hairs. And after that, I go ahead and I use my spoolie. It can be any spoolie. I have about 3 of them, but I like something that's pretty stiff, sturdy, and I bend it at the end, as you can see. So the first thing I'm gonna do is go ahead and brush up these brow hairs like so. And before I actually started the video, I plucked. I plucked my eyebrows. Get you either some brow pencils. These are different brands that I use, probably from my local Dollar Tree, dollar store, beauty supply store. Wherever I see a brown pencil, I pick it up. And then these are my eyebrow creams. This one is from Kiss. I got this from my local beauty supply store, and it is in the color chocolate. Focus. In the color chocolate. I got this one at my local Walmart, and this is just in the color black. I don't know if you can see that, in the color black. And I use this to basically darken up on the edges of my eyebrow. Now when you're using the brow creams, you want to make sure you have a nice angled brush like this. It's been through some of everything, so I just go ahead and flatten it out like this so it's ready to use. And then I go ahead and I start to trace my eyebrows. I've created a line, just lining that eyebrow. It's like when you're coloring, you just color inside and try not to go outside of the lines, basically. That's what you're doing. And then you're gonna notice once I get up to the front, I do not go past this part. I try to keep it as natural looking as possible, even though there's nothing natural about makeup. I take my spoolie and I just go from the back end of the brow and brush it out just a tad bit. And then after I do that, because I know you see this line, I just take my finger and wipe it off. And then I do it again. Basically, I brush until I feel it's faded enough for me. And even though I say the back end, sometimes I still bring the black up into the eyebrow just to cover up any parts that might not have been covered by the brown. And I also like to do this because it still fades into the brown pomade, so that when I take my makeup pictures, my eyebrow doesn't just disappear. Now the next step is you concealing under that eyebrow so that you can get it as presentable looking as possible. Snatched, as they call it, fleek, whatever. So you want to make sure that you use your concealer. I got this from Family Dollar. You know, I ran out of my other concealer. It doesn't really matter what kind of concealer you use. Doesn't have to be name brand or expensive or anything like that. Like I said, I got this from Family Dollar, and it works just as well. You some nice flat concealer brushes. You just want to put some of your concealer on the back of your hand like I did here. And then I'm just going to take my brush. I already put some on it, but I wanted to show you guys. So I'm going to take my brush and just dip it in and kind of rub it. Oh, sorry. Dip it in and kind of rub it off at the same time at the end. And y'all, I'm trying not to mess up while I'm talking to this camera because I'm shaking. But let me back up a little bit to where I left off and just trace. And then I like to flip my brush this way once I get a little closer in. So, dip my brush in that. And I'm just going to take it and start patting it out on my eye. Just like this. This brush here, this is the brush I use to basically buff out my concealer. And this is a domed shadow brush. Really, it doesn't matter what brush you use. Whatever brush serves its purpose, that's what you use it for. So I use this brush to buff out my concealer. And I just kind of drag the ends of it down a little. And I drag the other end of it out. So that it's nice and buffed out. But that's not where you stop. You keep going. And I also like to take my brush and kind of flick some of the concealer up where I basically spoolied out the brow and wiped it off. I like to pull it up. I don't really do too much as far as the top. I know a long time ago I used to outline the top of my brow, especially when I would do my makeup, because a lot of times I would notice that I wouldn't outline the top, and by the time I finished with my makeup, my eyebrow looks crazy. But I just try to make sure that I do enough to outline it in a way that I will not have to conceal it over the top. You can conceal your eyebrow over the top if you would like. I just prefer not to, because first of all, that's an extra step that I'm not trying to take. So I just try to make sure as good as I can I get, you know, the eyebrow the first time. So what I'm gonna do is hop off to do my other brow and come back. And this is how you get your brows snatched. Thank y'all so much for watching. If you like what you saw, go ahead and like this video. Go ahead and leave me a comment in the D box below and let me know how I'm doing. Also, let me know how you like this look. And don't forget to subscribe so you can be notified every time that I post. All right, y'all. I'm going to see you on my next one.